Guys, what's going on? Welcome to Serial at Midnight. My name is Heath, and in this video, I want to talk about Family of Fear, a documentary about a huge haunted attraction called Arx Mortis in Killen, Alabama. It's like a 50,000 square foot haunted attraction. You know those things that pop up in October, like mostly out in the woods? What was that? All right. And it's actually kind of the story of how a family forms in the most unlikely of places. It's a very cool story. And rather than, rather than me tell you about it, I actually spoke with the director, and I'm just going to play the interview with Stephen Lackey, the director, producer, editor of Family of Fear. And when we come back after this interview, we're going to give away a copy of Family of Fear to one of you guys, so stay tuned. Guys, I'm talking to Stephen Lackey, the director and the mind behind a new documentary project called Family of Fear, which looks at the Arx Mortis haunted attraction in Killen, Alabama. And first of all, Stephen, I just wanted to thank you for taking the time to sit down and talk with us for a few minutes here.
I thank you so much for spending some time with me. I love your show. It's my water cooler YouTube show, so I'm excited to be here.
That's wonderful. Okay, so you kind of first of all, just kind of tell us a little bit about what this documentary is and why maybe Halloween is the perfect time for this movie.
So, excuse me. I'm actually. You were sick a week or two ago. Now it's my turn.
I passed it on to you.
You probably did. So, Family of Fear is sort of a labor of love for me because in my formative years, I was able to work in a haunted house, and it was an experience that stuck with me. And I've always wanted to kind of revisit that and take it to a more professional level, just to learn from the artists that want to do this for a living, to make it their life. And then in research, found Arx Mortis and found a bunch of people that were not only doing it at a professional level and making it their making it their life, but were doing it for free. I was fascinated because it's an investment of a lot of yourself, not just your hours. You give up a lot of who you are for a couple of months out of the year, and they're doing it for free. So I wanted to go down and meet the people, and to especially talk to younger people that were in that age group that I was. Mm-hmm. And the reality of why they do what they do and what brings a lot of them to that haunt came clear to me very fast. And I learned I was going to have something much more than just a cool documentary about artists making a haunted house attraction. It became something more important when I learned that a lot of these young people that were there suffering with clinical depression and being bullied and challenging home lives and struggling. And instead of doing any number of things they could have been doing, they come to the haunt, and support each other and get through it all together. And in a lot of cases, especially the people who've been bullied, end up paying back the people that bullied them throughout the Halloween season. It just became like this beautiful family story that I hoped for something like that, but never could have expected it to be as important as it ends up being.
I was going to ask you, going into it, you couldn't have known the narrative that was going to unfold during your time there. So I guess this is kind of the best possible outcome for a story like this, right?
Absolutely. All I knew going in, when you do documentary, you have to go in with a template of what you're looking for. And you have to be ready to just sort of turn the corner. If the story takes you around the bend, you just have to go. And I knew going in, I wanted to tell. It starts with a question for me, the whole idea of what documentary I'm going to do. And the question was, why don't I start a haunted house and make my life that? And because I had read stories of people who that's all they did for the year. They were able to make enough money to sort of survive and sustain themselves, and that sort of piqued my interest because I knew it couldn't be that easy. I knew there had to be more to it than that. So my thought was to just follow it through a season, through a year, basically, because people who do a haunted house attraction well are working on it year round. And a lot of, patrons don't realize that. They think, they probably start a week or two before and, open in September and close in November and then they're done. No, it's not even like that. So that was really where my focus, that was sort of going to be my narrative, was to follow them through buying new props, their construction phase, and then the opening, and to see how things evolved. But I'm a character. I focus on character. I don't do political documentaries. I don't do big social issues. That's just not my style. I like to meet ground pounders, is what I call them. People that are on the street there, like me and you, that have something interesting to say. And they did, and they just sort of took us on that journey.
Speaking of the family aspect of this is kind of a theme for your work, because you did a documentary in 2002 called Fans and Freaks, The Culture of Comics and Conventions. You co-directed that. You directed, if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, let me know, but Dramatique? Yes. In 2016, about a dinner theater troupe. And your focus really seems to be on acceptance, outsiders that find a community and become a family, and that is present in this documentary.
It has, in the feature side of things, it definitely has been my focus, and I don't know if that was it really wasn't intentional, but it's a place where I have existed in my life, especially in my younger years, so I gravitate to those stories. And I started out, before I started working in film, I was a musician. I played in bands around the city here in Nashville and that kind of thing. And so if it's music and art and all that, and you've got, sort of that outcast type personality, which is what I felt I always was, probably still am, then that feels like home to me.
Yeah. Well, you said that you used to work, at one point in your life, you did work at one of these haunted attractions, one of these horror houses. Did you have any preconceived expectations going into the situation that maybe things were different than you expected they would be, or was it kind of your past experience? Or is it kind of similar to no matter where these things are?
So this actually, the shoot, or the actual shooting of the film was only 1 year, but I spent 2 years in other haunted houses before finding my way to Arx Mortis, because we had a lot of research to do. We had to figure out how we were going to shoot inside a haunted house, because most of the time when you see footage from inside a haunted house on TV, they just go in with their big lights and kind of ruin the experience for the patrons, and they put on a show. I wanted to see the real of it. So I had to figure out, how was I going to go in and shoot and be covert and not have to carry big lights and all that stuff. So we shot in 2 other haunts, and the sort of family aspect of it ran through all of the haunts that we were in. They ran through every single one. And bigger cities, it was people's reasons for being there were more diverse, but the family aspect of it was there. I didn't know it was going to be that much, because my experience with working in haunted houses when I was young were like, high school haunted houses. Like I did it through whatever group, after school group I was in, whether it was band or whatever. We worked at haunted houses. So we were sort of had our own dynamic outside of it. But these are people that don't do other things together, really. They only do this. So the passion is a whole lot more... a whole lot stronger than I could have anticipated.
Well, I just want to compliment you on an outstanding documentary. I think that it's so... we live in divisive times, and that's one of the things that we at Serial at Midnight try to do, is we try to unify people, we try to share our love of things, and this documentary just really speaks to that. It's really about different people coming together, finding that community, finding that family, and I just love it. It's so affirming, and it's so it's ironic that like a horror related, like a haunted attraction can invoke so much warmth and acceptance, but it really does. And so I just wanted to compliment you on that and to tell you how much I enjoyed it.
I appreciate that so much, and to hear you say that means like more than I can tell you, because that was what I wanted people to take from it. I really want people who don't sorry. Mm-hmm. I really want people who don't care about haunted house attractions to be able to watch the film and at least be able to take that from it. Yeah. If it makes you take a second and look at your neighbor and think about they look different than you, they act different than you, but their heart is the same.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you look at these people, they're a lot the same, but they bring a lot of different parts of themselves to that haunted attraction, and they have a home there. So it's real special.
Yeah, it's not really about the attraction, it's about the people. It's always about the people, and that really comes through. So it's wonderful.
And we were lucky that the attraction gave us some good drama, because I have to have that narrative flow. I have to have a beginning, middle, and end. It can't just be, a character development thing. And they had their struggles to get through, and and all the little dramas that happen with young people are portrayed to a degree. It wasn't my focus, but I wanted to show that stuff, I don't get my spot in the haunt, then I'm going to quit, and all this stuff. It's just, that's young people, So I had to show that was really a thing. This is not all like cookies and milk. That stuff is there, but they get through it, and then to get to the end, to get to Halloween, and and try to give you that feeling of what it's like for them after haunt season is over for a second.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, I heartily recommend this documentary. Where can people find this?
So we were very lucky with this documentary. We were able to sell it into a regular streaming situation, which is great. Now, I'm like you. I like the physical media. I like having the DVD. So actually, our educational deal has made the DVD available to people. So you can get the DVD. Probably the easiest way to get it is on Amazon. But what I've been trying to do is, if you go to forconefilms.com, Forcone films.com, there's a button called there's a shop button at the top, and I've tried to pull together all the different avenues for purchasing the film into one spot, and you can just choose to get it however you want, because I don't have any control. I sold the rights to distribute, so I don't have any control over pricing and stuff. So it's good to go there and price match, because FYE may be selling it for a little bit more than Amazon versus Best Buy and whatever. So it is something you have to order, though. If you want the DVD, you have to order it online. You're not going to go into Walmart and find a copy.
Well, I would just like to thank you for being here, Stephen Lackey, the director, the producer. You edited it too, didn't you?
Yes, sir. It is. We at our largest, we had a crew of 5. I had some extra what I call GoPros come in, and they were running night vision GoPros and going through the haunt for me. But I produced and directed, and my director of photography shot the majority of it, and he edited it together. So yeah, it's a small little team.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for talking to us, and everybody check this thing out. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you so much. It was great to be here.
Thanks so much to Stephen Lackey for talking to us about his movie. What a cool guy. What a cool documentary. This comes highly recommended by Serial at Midnight. So now we're going to give away a copy to one of you. This contest is limited to the US only, but all you have to do to win a copy of Family of Fear is comment in this video and just let us know that you're interested in winning. Just let us know that you want a copy, and we will pick one winner at random, and Stephen is actually going to mail you a copy. So that's the rules. Guys, thanks so much for watching this video. We do appreciate you, and until next time, what?